Good evening, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus. I want to thank you very much for taking some time tonight. It's the 23rd of December, and it is the night before Christmas Eve. So it is Christmas Eve Eve. So thank you so much for clicking in here and joining tonight's live chat. I uh, I have kind of a little bit of a loose schedule planned here. A couple topics I want to talk about that it's really meant to just be a laid back and chill stream. The intent tonight is not to go crazy with topics and be structured. It's more to be interactive with the live chat and you know wish you a happy holiday and talk about some fun stuff. I got a few really fun stories lined up and want to talk a little bit about some things that are coming to the channel, especially tomorrow. So welcome. And if you're watching this in the replay, uh, you're not going to have that interactive live chat, but feel free to comment, and I respond to all comments on the channel here right now. So we can have an interactive evening. So how's everybody doing? Let's see. I always start these streams kind of 5 minutes early. So if you are watching this in the replay, I would say, feel free to skip ahead a couple minutes here. We're already a minute in, so 3.5 minutes, skip ahead. This is kind of experimental because I know it is the night before Christmas Eve. I don't expect there to be a major turnout tonight, but you never know. So we're prepared with stuff to talk about. And every Christmas, there's always a live stream where we focus on the eggnog, and I have my moose mug. This is a licensed Christmas vacation moose mug that they say not to actually drink out of. So I'm sure that I'm shortening the lifetime of this. But that's what we do for entertainment and for fun. And we're all about the fun here. So happy holidays, everybody. If you are in the live chat, please be sure to say hello. We'll definitely do some shout outs here tonight. Might have some guests popping in tonight. Might actually go into the live chat and pull guests in. So this is going to be a fun night. Like I said, very loosely formatted. Definitely don't want this to be something that's stressful for me. We're entering the kind of stressful season of the holidays here, and don't want to make that a big deal. Not that it's a big deal, but you know so far it looks like we have nobody in the live chat, so I will save my voice until we do. One of the things I always talk about, I just said I was going to save my voice and then I totally didn't, is that I work a full-time job where much of my day is actually communicating with my direct reports and via Zoom meetings. So by the time it gets to Thursday, and this was a pretty action-packed week, I am pretty drained of my voice. And then I have Thursday night pinned as my live streaming night, which I may actually be changing in 2022. I've thought about it and don't want to commit yet. It's more I have to reach out to the community and see what the right thing to do is. So if you are here, it looks like there might be somebody joining. Definitely say hello in the live stream. I would love to say hello. Give some shout outs. But this is supposed to be fun. So let me get a little sip of my eggnog here. And for reasons I will talk about in a little while, I'm drinking light eggnog tonight. You could make the argument, why bother with the light eggnog if you're going to go all in with it? But there is a point where you got to be a little bit realistic with what you're doing. And all the eating we do on the channel here, it catches up with you. If you look back even a year ago, my appearance in the videos changed quite a bit, and I don't want to lean too much on that because it is what it is. But at the same time, the way I feel is definitely catching up with me too. It is going to turn to 7:30 in just 15 seconds here, and that is when I hope all heck breaks loose, because I would love to actually stream to an audience. But barring that, I got topics that'll be good for the replay as well. So, if you're just joining now, welcome, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Festivus, most importantly. Today is the 23rd of December. It is Thursday, 7:30 p.m., and it is Festivus, the holiday that was made popular on the Seinfeld episode with H&H Bagels. So, thank you for joining. I want you to know that I appreciate you taking the time out in this holiday season of adulthoods. I just say Christmas to spend the evening with me. And as you can see, I actually have a oh fudge Ralphie from Christmas Story shirt. So I am well in the holiday spirit. I moved my mic away and told you all about this shirt from Christmas Story. If you clicked on this earlier, I actually had a channel trailer up that was, I don't know why nobody is here, but that's beside the point. The channel trailer was colored nicely and everything, and now I switched to this green shirt and it threw the balance off everything, and I don't know what's going on. But let me get into my first topic for the evening, which is a pizzeria that I have near me. You guys are here for food content, so I have to tell you a food story that has been kind of prevalent over the last couple of weeks. I don't know what the deal is with this place. So there's a place where I really like the pizza that's kind of on the way home from work and on the way to pick up my son from his after school care. And if you don't already know, tonight is the eggnog party. I have my moose mug with eggnog here. Quickie sippy there. So this pizzeria, I never know how to order a pizza there. Now I don't like to mess around with the round versus square. In this area, there's something funny that happens with most pizzerias. Most pizzerias offer a 6 cut, an 8 cut, and a 12 cut and a 24 cut. The 12 and 24 cuts usually are sheet pan pizzas. So it's like, like a half tray that a 12 cut is cut into 12 slices, square slices, which end up being actually smaller than the, triangular slices on a round pizza. So a couple weeks ago, I went to this place to order a pizza, and they make a really good meat lovers pizza. Haven't done a review for the channel here yet. We'll see. This will make a good topic for the video as far as the dynamics of the slices. So I go into this place, and I got confused by their signs. So they have a 6 cut, an 8 cut, and a 12 cut. They don't have the normal 24 cut. Now, I don't know what to do with that. So, because I'm so used to having to decipher between the 12 cut being, rectangular, I don't want to mess around with the rectangular pizzas. They're fine. There are certain places that I would rather get a rectangular pizza from up here. So, I just want the largest circular pizza that you can get. Okay? That's really my goal. So, I asked the guy, and it was a young kid, and he was super nice. I asked him, which pie is the largest pie, that like the biggest in size, because they have the boxes and they make the pizzas to actually fit the certain sizes. And he goes, well, I'm gonna just check something here real quick. Pause on that story real quick. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt a good story there. I just want to make sure that this link is working. Yeah, it looks like it's public. All right, cool. All right. So I want to order the largest round circular pizza. And I tell him that. And he goes to me, you want 12 slices? And I'm like, is that round? And he looks at me and he's like, yeah, of course. Like, he looks at me and he doesn't say, of course it's round, but he gives me that kind of attitude. Like, of course it's round. Well, like, what do you think you're going to get? Cheers. Now, this is just regular eggnog, and I'll explain that right after this story. So I say, okay, can I get the 12 cup, but you cut it into a normal 8 slices? because when you go to this place, the hi Charlene, thanks for leaving a comment there. When you go to this pizzeria, the slices on the counter are actually very large pizzas that are cut into six. So they're a slice shop that makes a very large slice. Merry Christmas, Charlene. Thanks for the comment there. So I asked, can you cut it into 8 slices? And he obliged that request, and it's fine. So here's the deal with that. As far as I'm concerned, the critical factor for a pizza is not the number of slices. You can cut a circle into any number of even slices. Okay, so you can get a 4 cut, you can get a 6 cut, you can get an 8 cut, a 10 cut, a 12 cut. It doesn't matter. Okay. The what confused me is that when you say 12 cut, I'm assuming it's a sheet pizza because that's what is common around here. A 12 cut, even of the largest pizza that you can get at a pizzeria, if you think about the boxes that you could bring home, barring the like party pizza that you can get, that there's a place up here, we got it one year for Noah's birthday and it was ridiculous. But that when you cut it into 12 slices, the slices are too narrow. Like you almost can't even fit a whole slice of pepperoni across a slice. So like it's an unnatural cut no matter what. So I would say the default should be 8. 8 slices for the large pie. Am I am I off base on this? Am I wrong? Am I just too paranoid about getting the square pizza? That was kind of the whole pizzeria story. And if you're just joining, this is the annual eggnog party. I have my Christmas vacation officially licensed moose mug filled with light eggnog. To be completely honest, I kind of backed off on the strength of the eggnog this year just because all of the food stuff we're doing on the channel catches up with you, and I want to make it a little bit lighter. But cheers. And I've actually to also confess, I've been using this light eggnog kind of thinned out with a little bit of almond milk in my cold brew in the morning to get that little nutmeg kind of seasonal vibes, while eggnog is still something that we can get around the area. So very much don't want to overdo it, especially it's the 23rd. It's only Festivus. Tomorrow we have Christmas Eve, and that actually leads me into my next topic, which is our Christmas traditions in our family. So Cassie and I have been together for over a decade now, since 2010 was our first Christmas we spent together. We've kind of, our family routines have kind of been similar from year to year. We normally spend Thanksgiving up here and Christmas Eve with my parents downstate in New York here, and then Christmas Day we usually spend up here, and that's what we're doing this year as well. The table at Christmas Eve is a fun thing to kind of hey Brian, Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining. The table at Christmas Eve is kind of a fun thing at my parents' house because it's been an argument for almost my entire lifetime. So we're obviously a very Italian family. My parents are off the boat, arrived here in America as immigrants in the 1960s, and fish is a very big thing at Christmas for an Italian family, and it's the point where it's an obsession as far as I'm concerned. Um, I am not big on fish and seafood, and that's something that Brian, one of the things that Brian, who's in the live chat here, and I are plotting is a trip to the local fish fry place because he's a proponent of the fish fry, something that we always gave him a hard time about during Lent, even though we shouldn't give him a hard time. He was doing the right thing per his religion, right? But I don't like fish. I mean, I'll eat fish. I'll eat things like salmon, tuna, uh, but all that fried fish and stuff, the feast of the seven fishes and all that stuff, that's not for me. So it's always been an argument in my parents' house, and it was always a thing where I would always have, like, we worked in the deli, and the boar's head guy used to give us a little ham or a little turkey that I'd put in the oven, And that would be my Christmas Eve dinner, whereas my parents would be eating this fish, and my mom makes pasta. And I'm not going to say it doesn't look good. It's just not what I want to be eating on Christmas. And it's just the nature of it. You gotta. Me and my brother joke, it's the holidays for me too. So that's that. But one of the things that we started doing, well, one of the things I did for a while was bring like really good cheeses and a couple of like cured meats from a place called the Cheese Traveler up here in Albany. And we kind of adapted that this, last few years, where Cassie and I kind of collaborate. It's mostly Cassie who does this, but we get some cheeses from the we get some cheeses from like Whole Foods and a couple other places, and some meats and some crackers and stuff like that. And we'll do like a nice cheese board that has some fruit, some nuts, all that stuff. I do these crostini with ricotta and fig jam, and it's a lot of fun. It for me is a little bit more edible than the fish stuff. We have a question coming in the live chat. Do I ever discuss sushi for Christmas with the family? So, going back now, probably to the turn of the century, so around 1999, 2000, we used to do sushi on New Year's Eve. So we would actually call in an order and watch Dick drop his balls, having some sushi. So that was always our thing on New Year's Eve. But Christmas Eve was always about what is it that we have? My mom does like a shrimp pasta, which I guess this year is another point of contention because they want to add other fishes to that dish, which to me, I don't care what you do because I'm not eating it. But so there's that. There's always some fried shrimp. There's always fried cod. What else? Eel is another one of those things where, I got to be in the right frame of mind with the right prep to eat something like that. Not to say it's bad, to each his own, but it's not for me. Cheers. So yeah, we'll do the presents thing. And, it's usually just a day trip that we have down in Orange County, New York, that we take, and then we drive back up so that we can get things ready for, we have a young boy who, we want him to wake up in the morning and open Christmas gifts. So that's kind of our Christmas tradition. And then Christmas Day is just a chill day here. Obviously we do the gifts first thing in the morning. I don't like the way this hat looks right now. There we go. And then, we hang out for the day. And I think this year Cassie has a nice dinner that she's planning on making. So yeah, that's kind of our Christmas traditions. But Brian, we do have to figure out how to coordinate on this Ted's fish fry thing. I got to get that filmed for next year. But another thing I wanted to talk about today, and I'm running through topics here. Absolutely running through the topics. Let me grab a quick sippy of water. And like I said, this is going to be a chill night. I don't want to make this too structured. We're gearing up toward the holidays. It's all, we don't want it to be as stressful. My videos are fast paced as it is. And after a busy week at work, kicking off my vacation, I could definitely use some chill tonight before we get into the whole holiday things. Brian's in for Ted's. That's awesome. Yeah, we got to work that out. Probably the Wolf Road one. I kind of want to go while they still have the table set up outside. And that's that. So to give you guys a little bit of an introduction, Charlene is somebody who I've been interacting with on the YouTube community. One of our we watch a mutual channel for some help tips on YouTube. So Brian's one of my oldest friends from college, Charlene. So welcome to you both. So here it is. What did I ask Santa for this year? 10,000 subscribers. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, the subscriber number is not important to me. And what's more important is that I'm making videos here that people begin to enjoy more and more, and growing is a part of that. I hope that we do one day hit 10,000 subscribers, but not in any rush. And in order to do that, I may actually end up slowing down the videos a little bit just to slow down the weight gain and let myself get an opportunity to lose a little weight here and get back in a little shape. But as far as what I asked for, I don't really, I kind of buy everything I want. Brian, you know me. I've been collecting these Masters of the Universe Origins figures. One thing that I really, really want is Wave 7 of the Masters of the WWE Universe figures, because I wasn't able to pre-order it. I don't know if you were on the live stream that night. It was a couple weeks ago that I got an email while I was on the live stream, and I actually brought the order page up while I was on the stream, and the damn thing was already sold out. I literally got the email and clicked on it that second, and it was sold out. So Wave 7, let me see if I can grab a picture. It's a cool wave. There's only 3 figures in it. Yeah, this is it. Oh, maybe there are 4 figures. There's actually 4. I was wrong. Wrong again. Let me pull it up on the screen here. So there it is. We got Junkyard Dog. They're all legends. So Junkyard Dog, Andre the Giant, who's actually a giant figure. I think he's a 2-up. And then Sergeant Slaughter and Bret the Hitman Hart. And it's sold out. It's really annoying. So, and they're each going for like over $100 on eBay. So people already have the figures and they're looking to sell them for ridiculous amounts of money, which is really annoying. So if Santa is listening, I would like those. So let's see here. The next topic. Yeah, Brian, they're all that wave is all legends. It seems like even Wave 8. So I was able to pre-order Wave 8, which is the wave that has 3 figures. I think there's Stone Cold Steve Austin and somebody else. It's really weird. It's basically all legends, that wave. Anyway. So I was pissed that those sold out right away. And cheers for eggnog. I think something's wrong with the analytics because it looks like we're getting likes on the stream here, but it's not telling me that there are people in here. So if you're here, say hello in the live chat. We're doing a lot of shout outs and stuff like that. But yeah, so next topic, Christmas movies. Now, when I was a confused YouTuber last year and the year before, I did a lot of videos talking about media and movies. And I think I did a video talking about my favorite Christmas or holiday movies. So I kind of have a routine that I follow every year where I watch the same handful of movies. And they're probably movies that you see on TV or probably watch yourself, if they're on. But I actually make it a routine to watch them. Those movies are obviously National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That probably, in my opinion, is the greatest Christmas movie ever made. Just because it's the Christmas movie that I was 9 years old when it came out. So I've kind of grown up watching that movie. Scrooged, which came out right around the same time as Christmas Vacation, maybe a year or 2 later. I don't remember really what it was, but that's a little bit of a darker movie. Another one that's more contemporary is Just Friends, with Ryan Reynolds, which is a movie about a kid who was bullied in high school and comes back to his hometown, and there's hijinks ensues. So there's that one. Obviously, Christmas Story. If you Christmas Story, Christmas Story. If you came to the stream early, I had a trailer where I was wearing the Christmas Vacation t-shirt, but I switched it because Target had this amazing Christmas Story, oh fudge t-shirt, which is probably one of my favorite lines in the movie. So there's that one. I used to have Elf on the list, but the older I get, the more annoying that movie becomes to me. I don't know what it is. I don't like you don't watch these movies for the plot. You watch them for being lighthearted and like warm to get you in the holiday spirit. But Elf to me, I have a problem with the movie Elf in that the conflict doesn't arise until 20 minutes before the movie ends. So it's a fun movie and it's a lot of skits back to back that almost don't seem connected by anything. Um, so that used to be on the list. Let's see what else, because I watched other movies. Oh, Home Alone, Home Alone 1 and 2. Home Alone 1 is the one where Kevin McAllister is left in his home alone, hence the name Home Alone. Home Alone 2 is the movie starring our former president, where Kevin finds his way to New York and is left, up to his own devices, and somehow the wet bandits, now the sticky bandits, end up in New York and hijinks ensues. So that is Home Alone. I don't think I saw it in a theater, but I do remember my grandfather went, I think it was opening weekend. And it was funny because my grandfather, I think he understood a lot more English than he spoke, but he was telling us about this movie. And I vividly remember him telling us about it back in the day. But yeah, I watched Home Alone like crazy, quoted it my entire life. It's definitely one of those fun Christmas movies. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have Disney Plus, but this is really funny. They released like a updated version of Home Alone. It's called Home Sweet Home Alone. It is absolutely horrible. There is nothing redeeming about it. The only actual link to Home Alone is that a police officer, Buzz, the guy Buzz who's in the news right now for, I think, domestic battery, which is ridiculous, but he's in the movie and he actually is a police officer, which is kind of weird. But it's a strange movie because the in the first movie the villains were trying to rob the house, and not to give away the plot of this movie because it's a bad movie. But the kid, the whole the robbers in this movie are actually people who the main kid might have stolen something from, and they were just trying to get it back. It's a very strange dynamic. Actually, Brian, this joke, do you know there's actually a story behind why? Because that picture that they show, Buzz's girlfriend, woof woof, where did I see this? They basically like put a boy with a wig, just so that whoever that girl ended up being didn't get bullied in school, which I think is a good touch, something that they didn't ruin somebody's life forever, because that's definitely, imagine being that girl. That would be messed up. Another one, and I think Brian is going to disagree with me on, because it's a Thanksgiving movie, is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I always watch it between Thanksgiving and Christmas because I think it gets me a little bit more prepared for actual Christmas than Thanksgiving. I don't know why. But if you're just joining now, be sure to interact in the live chat. This is supposed to be a really chill stream, talking about a couple topics and not really doing anything too structured. Trying to have a good time, trying to enjoy our eggnog here. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a good one, but the one that I think people are surprised that I really like is Just Friends, because that one is more, I think it's a 2004 movie, starring Ryan Reynolds and what is her name? I forgot her name, but it's a very funny movie, and I think it's underrated, and I think it's very timeless. I don't know why more people don't actually highlight that. So I end up actually, Brian, watching a lot of these by myself because I think it's a little bit outside of Cassie's enjoyment. We watch Elf together, even though I just told you guys about how much I dislike Elf. But yeah, I do think Christmas Vacation is the best Christmas movie of all time. Now, the one thing I want to touch on is the whole debate between, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? It tires me out to see this on the internet. Obviously, people are arguing about whatever they can on the internet. Um, I don't have an opinion on whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not. Okay, and my reason for that is it doesn't matter. If you're going to be on the internet and say, I don't care what you think, Die Hard is a Christmas movie, you're not on the internet for the right reasons. Like anybody who wants to argue about something like that with that much emphasis, or you know, to be dominant and have that one up on somebody and say, I say it's a Christmas movie, so it's a Christmas movie, or it's a Christmas movie, it's a fact it's a Christmas movie because there's this part and there's this ornament. It's like, it's very tiresome. Like Eyes Wide Shut is a Christmas movie. Okay, that's a fact. Most of the scenes in the movie are actually set at Christmas. There are Christmas trees in the sets. He's going Christmas shopping in some of the scenes. Okay, Eyes Wide Shut is a Christmas movie. Does anybody ever argue about that? I'm sure most people would say Eyes Wide Shut is not a Christmas movie. And you could see I'm getting heated about it. And I'm going to throw the gauntlet down on this one right now. A movie I just watched this past weekend. Maybe on Monday, I watched this movie, Police Academy. Absolutely 100% is a Christmas movie. If you're going to call Die Hard a Christmas movie and try to die on that hill, then I'm going to tell you until the cows come home that Police Academy is a Christmas movie. And why am I saying that? Because there's a scene where Hooks is driving through the, practice driving, the tactical driving thing. And she starts singing Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and the music Santa Claus is Coming to Town plays. So that to me tells me it's a Christmas movie. If you guys can get on that, thing, it is if you're going to say because Die Hard's a Christmas movie because the reason why is because he has to work late and blah, 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 then Police Academy is just as much a Christmas movie. Cheers. Another thing I'll tell you guys is that the Police Academy movies are highly underrated. I spend a lot of time on YouTube, including watching YouTube videos. I saw a professional filmmaker in 2021 break down all 7 Police Academy movies, and it was like a 40-minute video, and it was absolutely amazing, and I loved every minute of it. And he made a good point, and his point was, you see all these Marvel movies that people go to all these movie theaters to see, to get this this Tesseract is supposed to be this thing in this movie and all this stuff. And if you can catch the sarcasm in my voice, I am a longtime comic book reader. You could actually see, is it this way? You see here, what I have up here are symbiote Spider-Man. I even have the 1984 Secret Wars comic book cover. So I'm a big comic book fan. I cannot stand what these comic book movies have become. Now I understand I'm starting to get out of the Christmas spirit here. But Brian, we're getting back to this point in a second. These Marvel movies are out of control. These Disney Plus shows are out of control. The fact that you have to live in fear of missing one of these things, and what's become of spoiler culture online, we're beyond reality here, guys. This is not right. But going back to my original point, the point this filmmaker made is that the Police Academy movies are the original Marvel movies. You had things like James Bond before that, and I'm stealing his points a little bit. But I thought it was and the reason why I'm reiterating it, because it was a really good point. So you had these franchises, right? But none of them were as interconnected as the Police Academy series. And it's really funny because, Captain Harris wasn't in every Police Academy movie. Sometimes the foil villain was Captain Mauser, but they always kind of alternated. And even when Mahoney left, Mahoney ended up coming back in Police Academy 4, and then they replaced him. And it was a cohesive network of movies. And it was like they were churning them out once a year. So what this guy was saying is, if the Marvel movies are like serialized dramas, so like it's like watching a television show, where you kind of have to know the continuity of Thor, Dark Matter, whatever these movies are called, in order to understand Avengers Endgame. The Police Academy movies are actually, um, that's not true, Brian. We'll get back to that in a second. It always had a Lassard, but not the same Lassard. Um, the Police Academy movies are basically sitcoms. So they're like an extended television episode of a sitcom, which I thought was a really interesting point. I never thought about it like that. There haven't been too many series like that. So let's get back to your points here. So I have a definitive ranking of the Police Academy movies. It's in my Hot Ones video. And if you can watch that if you want. Police Academy 7 is definitely the worst one. There are very little redeeming factors that come out of that movie. It is the only thing that I have actually liked. What's that guy's name? Hellboy. Whatever that guy's name is. Oh, it's right at the tip of my tongue. Help me out here, Brian. What's his name? Sons of Anarchy guy. Anarchy Man. Anyway, it's the only movie that I've actually liked that he's been in. And to say that I liked that movie is an overstatement, because I do not like Police Academy 7. To this other point, it's funny, Charlene. I'm very strange in that one of the movie series that I will rewatch every few years is Police Academy. It's almost on the same schedule as I rewatch The Sopranos. So you talk about how there was always Lassard in Police Academy. So Commandant Lassard was in the first movie. He was the main, the commandant of the Police Academy. In the second movie, that actor is not yet Ron Perlman. That's him. The actor who played Commandant Lassard, Eric Lassard. Is it Eric Lassard? I don't remember the names. But he didn't return for the second movie. The second movie was actually his brother, who was the chief of police in the police station where they have their first assignment. Police Academy 2 is called their first assignment. So that guy's in number 2. Number 3, Lassard comes back or Eric Lassard. Is it Eric? Anyway, we're drifting way off point here. But he comes back. He's in number 4, Citizens on Patrol. Citizens on Patrol. He's in number 5, the one in what is it called? Florida. The one where they're in Florida, because remember he's the one who has the video camera, and he has the bag that the robbers end up switching with the ones with the diamonds, and that was the whole thing. And I think he's also in number 6, which is the one where it's an underground. It's not his brother in real life. It's his brother in continuity. It's his name is Lassard, but it's not him. It's a different Lassard. So yes, Commandant Lassard was not in every movie. Do I think 4 is my favorite? I think number 1 is my favorite, just because the tone of the movie is so much different. The rest of them seem definitely more self-aware and kind of, it's like cheeky. It's like the airplane movies where, they almost seem like they're in on the jokes. Whereas the first one I think is a little more gritty and kind of has that kind of, very early to mid 80s feeling kind of thing. I think the first movie actually is underrated in the sense that If you take out the fact that it was a series that people probably argue played itself out, that first movie is definitely a lot better than it gets credit for being. And I need to take a quick sip. I've gone a while without greeting the crowd here. And I will say, if you're just joining, happy holidays. If you entered in the middle of my police academy rant, this is the holiday stream. We're doing something a little bit more kicked back, laid back, trying to just get ready for the holidays here and talk about some hot topics, things that I've had on my queue of things to talk about here. While we're on the topic of 80s movies, I have another one to talk about right now, which is actually another really interesting movie. Rocky 4. This one made a lot of news toward the end of last year because it broke out that Sylvester Stallone was working on a version of Rocky 4 that cut out Paulie's robot. Like, that was the news headline. Robot cut from Rocky 4. So as the year progressed, they actually came out with a release date earlier this month, or it might have been actually the week of Thanksgiving. Sylvester Stallone released Rocky 4 Drago. What's it called? Hold on, let me get you the right name because it took me forever to find it because of this. It is called Rocky 4 Rocky versus Drago, the ultimate director's cut. And it's a really interesting thing. Now, if you ask me, Rocky 4 is a perfect movie. It is probably the most watchable Rocky movie as far as I'm concerned. The first movie is absolutely great. It's just long and boring. It was made in the mid 70s. So a lot of the movies during that time were able to be a little bit more drawn out. And it's a movie I'll put on if it's a slower kind of day. But the movies I grew up with in the 80s really are the ones that I loved the most. And Rocky 3 and 4 are going to be those movies to me. Rocky 2 is okay. It's a little bit too depressing, with Adrian being in the hospital, as far as I'm concerned. For some reason, and this is a spoiler, the movie is 35 years old. So if you haven't seen it by now, it's not my fault for giving out spoilers in this stream that under 10 people are now currently watching. I don't find it as depressing when Apollo dies. It almost seems like comical. It seems like that it wasn't supposed to be, and I think that might be part of the reason for what I'm going to talk about next. So there is a documentary on YouTube that's an hour, a little over an hour and a half, that is on Sylvester Stallone's YouTube channel, where he talks about, like, it's him re-editing Rocky 4, and he's working with an editor. And they're going through all old footage, alternate takes of stuff. He's talking about from storyline, like why he's making certain cuts. He talks about one thing, and I as a video editor here for the channel, I found it very interesting, some of the decisions he was making and his thought process behind that. So, like, one thing he talks about is when you're choreographing a fight, you can do 3 punches in a row from the same angle, but if you don't cut to another angle, it's not interesting for a viewer. And that's one of those things where it's got me thinking a little bit about how I'm doing my recipe videos coming up. So there is some connection between this random topic I decided to talk about and what I'm doing here on YouTube. But the funny thing about it is, he talks about some of the things he's doing. Like, one of the things he does is make the fight between Drago and Apollo a little bit more competitive. So he adds more of Apollo getting in a few punches, which not only makes it seem like not as wasteful that Apollo just got killed by this guy, but also makes Drago look a little bit more human, which I thought was interesting. Another thing they did was take a little bit of the emphasis from the beginning of Drago actually getting doped on steroids. So they don't really tell you that that's what's happening. Whereas in the movie, it was right in your face. Another thing that they changed quite a bit was the Cold War allegory between America versus Russia. They toned that back quite a bit. So I actually watched the Rocky 4, Rocky versus Drago, the Ultimate Director's Cut this past weekend, and it's not my cup of tea. I just talked about how great it was to hear all the decisions he made, and a lot of it makes sense. Like, I could see some of the changes, and a lot of it works as being effective in that way, in like the way a modern movie would be. But I just like my Rocky 4, and I don't care about the robot. I know it sounds like Brian is not big on the robot, but you got to remember that this movie came out the same year, if not a year later, than Short Circuit 2. So like it wasn't totally out of hand, and it was one of those like things where, first of all, Paulie was mooching off of Rocky as it is. Not only is he mooching off him, he's using the money to get a robot to be his servant. I honestly think it did serve a purpose. I don't think it's as wasteful from a cinematic point of view than Stallone and other people would think. It's not as big a deal as people made it. Take a sip of eggnog. So yeah, this Rocky 4, he cuts down a lot of the montages, which is fine. The supposedly the original movie is 32% montage, which I thought was interesting to learn that. Um, but that's what movies were in the mid to late 80s. But the flashbacks have some weird color grading to make it more obvious it's a flashback. The one thing I really hated about the movie from right from the start, Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 start with and Rocky 3 ends and Rocky 4 starts with the same scene of Rocky and Apollo going into the practice gym, and they're having an exhibition fight, ding ding, and that he cut that out of this ultimate director's cut and actually showed the last 5 minutes of Rocky 3 with the fight with Clubber Lang, and then it cuts to a little bit more exposition about Apollo wanting to fight Drago. So it gives Apollo a little bit more of a purpose, whereas it doesn't look like he's just going in to commit suicide. Um, just realize I need to be a little bit more mindful of the language. But we're talking about a movie here. It's commentary on a movie. We're not talking about real life events. But I will say that it was interesting to see the whole thought process of the editing and what went into the whole thing. Um, Sylvester Stallone made the documentary with somebody on an iPhone during the pandemic. Um, Again, I'm using not good language here. Um, Not that that's a bad word. It's just supposedly that limits your reach on YouTube. But it's just interesting. And I watched that movie recently, and I will say that I'm kind of glad I watched it, but the version of Rocky 4 that I will watch from here on out is Rocky 4, the original. So let's see here. Looks like we didn't get too many people in the live chat. I've been able to keep up with you guys, Charlene and Brian. Thanks a lot for staying here with me tonight. And like I mentioned earlier, I don't know if everybody was here then. This is kind of experimental. I realize people want to be with their families, and it won't hurt my feelings if you guys need to leave or whatever. I'm here willing to hang out and talk about some fun stuff. And that's basically that topic. I'll leave it open though. Let me put up my little banner. Ask me anything. If you guys have any questions for me, and then I want to talk about content on the channel because I got some fun stuff coming, including tomorrow morning. I need you guys to turn up for a video. Excuse me. Like I said earlier, probably before the stream started, I spend my whole week. I work with a team of 15 people, and also do a lot of Zoom meetings from day to day, and I lose my voice by Thursday night, so I'm thinking about maybe moving the stream to a different night in 2022. I think I also decided that I'm not going to do a stream next week. Next Friday night is New Year's Eve, and I have a lot of video editing to catch up on. Um, you know what? You're absolutely right. So I have to be completely honest. I've only seen Gremlins like twice in my entire life, but I do know um, that it was a Christmas movie. I think the argument can be made. And if not, Gizmo was always one of those gifts that you like. Gizmo in the 80s, he was like number one gift toy. It was like Baby Yoda. Like back then, Grogu and Gizmo were like the same kind of phenomenon. By the way, Charlene has a YouTube channel. She makes the most amazing cookies, things that look so easy that I just never would have the patience to actually be able to do that kind of baking. My wife also does a lot of the baking in the house, and I do more of the savory cooking. But check out Charlene's channel if you after the stream if you like baking things that look really nice. Yeah, you see, that's the thing I don't know about that. So, what are the rankings for Police Academy? Now you're putting me on the spot because I don't want to. I don't want to go against what I say in that Hot Ones video. All right, so I would say my rankings are Police Academy 1 is the top. Police Academy 4 is next. Then probably Police Academy 3, then 5, then 6, then 2, then 7. So that's my ranking. I don't know if I have that saved anywhere. Let me see. Sometimes I make notes and I actually save them. So let's see here. Search. Oh shoot. I did save it. So let's see if that matches up. So I said before I look, I said 1, 4, 3, 5, 2, 6, 7. Oh, I didn't actually write it down. It was just the question. Darn. Well, Brian, you're gonna have to go back and watch the Hot Ones video. But I'm saying it again. Let's say it one more time. Number 1, Police Academy 1. Number 2 is number 4. Okay. First, Police Academy 1. Second, Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol. Third, Police Academy 3. I forgot the name of Police Academy 3. Do I have them right here? No, I don't. Then 6, which is City Under Siege. Then 2, which is their first mission. And then 7. I think that's it. Baking anything special for Christmas dinner. So I think the plan here is I think Cassie's going to do a beef Wellington. That's right. Number 3 is back in training. So Christmas dinner is going to be beef Wellington. I think some string beans, something low key. We're not doing anything fancy. I mean, honestly, let me scratch that. Beef Wellington is pretty fancy, but that's the plan as of right now. Shows on now that I like. So this is a hard question because on now is the hard part of that question. It frustrates me to no end that you have to subscribe to all these services and whatever it is. So yes, I watch a lot of shows now. Curb Your Enthusiasm is back on HBO Max or HBO, whatever. That's probably one of my favorite comedy shows of all time. Although this season is really not great. I really, really like The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. That probably is the best television show I've watched in the last couple of years. Uh, but let me just qualify that. It's not a show I could watch every day, and I have some issues with it from a creative standpoint, but it's definitely something that I enjoy watching just because the format is so laid back and it's not quite as like it's tied to to the Star Wars universe, but it's not like it's not so engulfed in all the mythology. Like it has its own contained story, if that makes any sense. Um, I really, really liked the show Clickbait on Netflix until the last episode. That was a fun show up until then. Um, I don't really watch too many other television shows that are current. But if there's something that ends up having some buzz behind it, like on Netflix or Disney Plus, like okay, I watched WandaVision. I had to watch that. The first two episodes, I was thinking, um, what are they thinking? How are like people going to watch this? And they worked through the story. Um, then I watched the Falcon and Winter Soldier, even though both of those characters don't really matter to me. And I think we ended up enjoying that series quite a lot. But I think I'm drawing the. I watched What If after that, and that was fine. It's one of these things where, as a comic book fan, I really hate the fact that they made this FOMO culture of, you feel like if you're gonna miss something, you're gonna miss like a major detail that you're not gonna be able to follow the next movie. Um, I'm not watching Hawkeye. I don't care for the character in the movies, so I don't care for the character on Disney Plus to watch 8 or 10 episodes of him. It's not my thing. Um, all right, so here's something I can talk to you about. So Walking Dead, I tried watching the first season. Um, literally right here, I have all the volumes of the graphic novels of The Walking Dead by Robert Kirkman. Um, who it turns out the first 6 volumes, I actually work with a kid whose father was the illustrator for that. I was talking to this kid at work and he told me that, and I thought that was amazing. But anyway, my point is I couldn't really get into the show. I don't know what it was. I might have to give it another chance. I know I'm now 10 years behind on it. Um, but I didn't like it at the start, so I never stuck with it. Um, so I think I might have to try to get back into it because I'm a huge fan of the writing of the comic book, and I know that Jeffrey Dean Morgan has been doing really great things as Negan on the show. And he's a strong character in the book. So I feel like I'm kind of missing out on that. So I will have to catch up on that. I will take your recommendation seriously, Charlene. Let's see. It looks like we have at least 6 or 8 people in here. And if you're here, feel free to say hi. Happy holidays to you. Happy Festivus. Today is Festivus. We are having our eggnog party. I have my let me take all this stuff here is I have my oh fudge, it's Christmas. My favorite line from A Christmas Story. Modern Day Tech. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. Happy holidays to you. Let me put my banner back up. At some point I have to be able to hire somebody to do the controls for this thing because it's, well, maybe one day I'll be big time and I'll have that production value. So, topics. Oh, content. I blanked on it completely. So tomorrow morning I usually do my dining reviews to launch between midday and and the evening, just so that I'm catching that East Coast traffic. Tomorrow morning I am going to be posting a video first thing in the morning. It is the biggest Italian sub I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's not hyperbole at all. I grew up making Italian subs, and even the largest sub we've ever made there was not was didn't even compare with what I had here. Um, Thanks a lot, Plozoid. Appreciate that. Um, I found a place in my area, so I've been on this kind of quest to find a really good Italian sub, and we found a couple. The videos have been very popular. I'm actually surprised by how popular they were outside of the area. Um, so we had that, and I found this place that makes a pretty amazing Italian sub. Now, for this video, I actually have a few different things. I have footage from the grand opening of my father's deli, which I think it was a perfect time to actually break it out for this video. So you'll get to see me as a little kid in there in a couple shots. It's kind of a fun little video. I think it kind of ties in with Christmas Eve was our busiest day of the year in the store. So this is a good callback to a lot of that kind of history and stuff with the store and everything. What are the other things about it? Like I said, largest Italian sub I've ever seen. I forgot how I titled it. It's either biggest Italian sub or largest Italian sub. So there's that makes it special. I have Kanye West sound bites in there. I had to do it. There was just a perfect little little bit I can build into the content. And if you guys watch carefully, the way I edit things sometimes, you kind of have to know me a little bit to understand it. So I would hope that you stick around with the videos and you get to see the recurring things. Brian, who's in the chat, probably understands a lot of the inside jokes that over time have developed and stuff. And this Kanye thing is a funny thing. I thought it was hilarious, so I put it in there. But it's an important video for me. And I'd love if you watched it. I think you're going to really enjoy it. So there's that. Chicken Sandwich Wars not slowing down. Monday is the big one. It's the one that everybody wants to see. Popeye's chicken sandwich. So I expect that one to do numbers. I think people are going to be mad at me on that one. And then the week after, we have a local restaurant. I haven't decided what I'm doing for a video for late in next week. I'm definitely not doing a live. Want to take a little break from the lives and pick it up strong in 2022. But the week after that, I have a local chicken sandwich that I just recorded this week. The place actually has a sandwich called F Popeyes. So I thought it was the perfect thing to go up as the next one after Popeyes. And then I got to figure out what to do about the chicken sandwich wars. I might cut it. So that'll be number 20, 21 in a row. So I've gone 20 weeks with a chicken sandwich review. And if you can imagine, this was a topic I wanted to talk about a little bit tonight. Eating fried food once a week for videos and other food for other, indulgent food for video content, in addition to everything else. And I let my fitness get away from me a little bit. I got to pull it in a little and figure out what's the right balance of recording content for the channel here, and building in that kind of thing. How do I can, a lot of the successful recipe videos on the channel are actually things that are healthier. So how can I build in that healthy stuff into the content so that I could sustain the pace that I'm doing? And also, is the pace that I'm doing really sustainable is really the question. So I'm kind of weighing a lot of that stuff and just trying to figure out what's the right balance for me. And, I know people are really starting to react to the videos. So there is a little bit of pressure in that sense to keep it going, but I don't want to stop, but at the same time, I kind of have to slow down. So I say that, and I'm going to take a sip of eggnog. And also so we are having eggnog here, but I did opt for light eggnog, just because, like I said, we got to slow down a little. So there we go. That's the end of this eggnog for tonight. What other questions you guys got for me? Looks like we have a few people in the live chat. So if you haven't said hello, feel free. I don't bite. Don't bite people, that is. I had a good rant going there about Police Academy movies, Rocky 4, which is a Christmas movie. I just realized. Brian, Rocky 4 is a Christmas movie. You know why? Because he fights him on Christmas. So there you go. You guys want to say Die Hard is a Christmas movie? Rocky 4 is just as Christmas a movie as Die Hard. I don't dislike anybody. If you want to come out and say Die Hard is a Christmas movie, that's your business. At least you're not arguing about science. Does he carry a Christmas tree while training? No, it's he's doing the twists with a big log. But imagine it, like they should do a deep fake putting a Christmas tree in the movie. That reminds me. So in the movie Scrooged, there's actually a really subtle joke that is extremely it's an extremely dark joke. So his name is Frank Cross, the main character. And in his office, when his brother is on the exercise bike and they're talking about their Christmas plans, there's a decoration in his office that says it's the definition of cross. Well, it looks like a dictionary definition of the word cross, and it says cross, the thing you hang people from. And if you think about it, that is an extremely dark joke. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, cross, something you get nailed to. So this is a movie about Christmas. Christmas is the celebration of the birth of Christ in the Christianity continuity, or whatever you want to call it. I'm thinking comic books here. I blame Mark Maron for that. I could tell you that story after this. And that joke is up there. So it's a very dark, it's a deep joke that never actually hit me until now, and also very dark. So over the summer in 2019, my 40th birthday, we went to Montreal to the Just for Laughs festival, and we saw Mark Maron live. And he had this joke that developed over the entire hour and a half set that he did, where he basically, I can't even explain it, but he basically made correlations between the Christian ideologies in the Marvel universe, and ended up with this crossover where the Marvel universe and Christianity kind of fused together into our universe. It was an amazing joke. If I find it on YouTube, I'll have to link it somewhere. Brian, I think don't quote me on this, but I think that actually might be an ad lib. I don't think he was supposed to say that. I could be wrong though. I saw a thing recently where Bill Murray was talking about the movie Scrooged, and he actually hates the movie, which is sad because it's actually one of my favorite movies. His performance in it is great. One thing I learned this year, and I had no idea, the music in Scrooged. So yeah, it would be amazing. The music in Scrooge was composed by Danny Elfman. Brian, I'm going to leave a minute for you to react in the chat. Do you know who Danny Elfman is? So yes, Danny Elfman did the music for Pee-wee. Danny Elfman also did the music for Batman and Batman Returns. The movie Scrooged is basically Batman music. Oh, thanks, Cassie. So yeah, the joke Mark Maron does is actually in his Netflix special, which is also very good. So this Danny Elfman thing, it amazed me because I looked up Danny Elfman. I know who Danny Elfman is, but I had no idea he was the composer on Scrooged. But it makes a whole lot of sense to me because, like, all the music in Scrooge is basically you could put that music in Batman '89 and it would fit perfectly. Okay, but Danny Elfman also is the lead singer of Oingo Boingo, who make an appearance in 1986 Back to School. So there's that. He did all the Tim Burton movies, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Brian, like this until this year, I can tell you, in the late '80s, I watched that movie more times than I have ever. I've watched it every year since 1996 at this time of year, at least once, and I've never like I always thought like, okay, it's weird, but like think about the music when the Ghost of Christmas Past is holding him outside the window. Like that is literally Batman's theme. But the more amazing thing is Danny Elfman is partially deaf. So like this guy is like he's like a modern day like Mozart or Beethoven. So I thought that was an incredible thing. And I got nowhere to go, so I'm keeping this going. If I won't feel bad if anybody has to leave. I realize it is the holidays, and I do want to say happy holidays to you, Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus. Most importantly, today is the 23rd, so it is Festivus. You know, I guess I even got a little bit of airing of grievances out there. Brian, is your mind blown? I seriously like didn't realize that. And it's one of those things where I can't believe that it took me this long to realize that. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What else? What else? It's real funny how that works with this YouTube thing. If I did a movie, I would want Danny Elfman to. What I should do, I should look up in my music library that I use for my music for my videos, whether or not there's Danny Elfman style music. I guess I can give you guys a sneak peek at tomorrow's video. Who wants that? Anybody want to see that? Let's see. I think I could do this. Let's see. Sir, what happens when you mix all of these meats on the same sandwich? Because I guess I've always been curious. Really interesting. So yeah, that's a little bite-sized piece of tomorrow's video. I took a little bit of extra time to edit some kind of teaser stuff for social media. I don't know what the right thing to do on social media is. It almost seems like kind of a waste of time to to do social media posting because I look at my analytics on stuff that come from a what do you call it? Stuff that come from Facebook and Instagram, and people click but they don't watch. Brian, I see you're looking at my He-Man stuff. You see I got Castle Grayskull there. I mean, I got this whole section here is all toys. I gotta dig into. I gotta figure out that too. I'll stay on a couple more minutes. If you haven't watched the Hot Ones holiday special, I highly recommend it. It's amazing. What I want to do, because you guys got me thinking about this now. It's crazy, Bry. It's crazy. At every single song, like you could imagine being put in Batman 89 or in Batman Returns. It's really crazy. I think though I am going to end it for the night. I'm going to leave the Hot Ones video in the live chat for you guys to watch that. You can see my definitive Police Academy ranking. Make sure that I'm living up to what I said. Most importantly, though, I want to thank you so much for hanging out tonight with me. Uh, you know, I realize that you could have been doing anything other than that, and your time is valuable, and it means a lot to me. Um, since this is the last stream of 2021, I want to thank you guys for all your support this year. It really means a lot to me for you guys to come and watch the videos. The feedback on the videos is great so far. If there's anything that you want to see, anything you want to see me change, I am open to that feedback as well. So thank you very much. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And, Brian has a special message here we'll put up. Merry Christmas to the family and everyone in the chat. And I want to say that as well. Even if you were lurking in the chat, thanks for your support. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Festivus. Whatever you celebrate, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. And we will see you in the next video.